So it's research in health and social care. And we've gone through some research topics that you could choose from. And we'll talk about some of the aspects that are required from you for completing this assignment. So what this assignment is about, it's you must propose and carry out a short research project. Remember, you have a lot of research ideas, you might have brilliant research ideas, but this would be just a short one-time research project. And then you could think of doing something going forwards if your research proves to be very exciting and you really want to do something in it. We can always talk about that, and then you can go ahead and do a full-fledged long-term research, but this will just be a short project because you need time to write also. So um, just keep that in mind, that we don't want anything extensive from you. It's a very short, limited project that we have in mind for you. So it should be related to health and social care, and you would want to explain how your research informs practice. So then you've done your research, okay, you have some preliminary findings, you have some results based on that research. You want to show us how does that lead to a change in practice. So you may choose to this any like we've talked about so many research ideas. So you might want to talk about a problem or an opportunity that you want to explore at the health and social care setup where you're working, or a current health issue or social care issue. So it's up to you. If you're more comfortable taking data from your own setup, that's fine with us. So you would want to consult with your tutor or your supervisor to determine a suitable area for research. So we'll go ahead and talk about what you would want to do and if it's considered feasible or not. So the study skills that would be assessed from you would be critical thinking, your planning, organizing, and time management. How would you do that? Your research, basic bits in it, gathering information, note taking, and summarizing. How would you do that? Analysis of your research findings, oral and written skills, academic skills, including your referencing, which we've talked in detail before, application of your IT skills, and how do you reflect on that research? What did that research teach you? So your task one, now be very specific. Please make sure that you have completed all these tasks. So you would be working on a Word document. We expect you to be working on that. And you would want to work on these bullet points. So if you miss out all the other extensive things within your research project, you would definitely want this, because this is how you will be marked. So you would want to show that you have agreed the research topic with your tutor in your proposal. So when you start your Word document, you would have your name, your student ID number, and your research project, what is it about, and the course, the name of the course that you're doing. So because we have a lot of assignments, so we want to know that this is you might be involved with us doing several other courses as well. So this would then differentiate between the other courses and this course. So you would explain the importance of the aims and objectives of the research. So we've talked about aims and objectives. You'll get the presentations, the videos of the presentations on Monday. And you can have a look at what we talked about during that time. Explain the ethical considerations. Now, in ethics, we talked about integrity, we talked about confidentiality, we talked about non-maleficence and beneficence. We talked about all of that. We'll touch upon a bit up on those topics today. Just to wind things up, that's it. So what ethical considerations? So for instance, if you're taking a patient and you're that their name is being disclosed and they don't want that, what means do you have to ensure that their names would not be disclosed? And then, because if I am giving you some statements based on anything that I have felt or my experience, and if I feel that my data is not going to remain confidential, I won't give you quite a clear explanation, or I won't give you a good interview. It will be masked, it will be biased. So I would be scared that you might leak out my name. So what would your aim be? How would you make sure that my name is not leaked out, and then you're making sure that my confidentiality is maintained if I want to be confidential within that whole exercise? So this is how you will explain the ethical considerations. This is just an example of confidentiality maintenance. Explain the links between research and evidence-based practice. We've talked about this. Analyze the contribution of research and evidence-based practice on decision making, and explain the contribution of research to health and social care provision. How does your research contribute to health and social care provision? So this is your first task that you will have to explain. So this will all be done on a Word document. And all of this has been explained to you earlier. You just have to make use of all the references that you can. So if you want a merit here, a grade where you are passed in a better grade, so you would analyze potential uses for research findings within the practice. And in order to gain a distinction grade, you would also want to analyze your own current skills and knowledge in being able to conduct a literature review in health and social care towards evidence-based practice. So literature review, I already told you, it's a review of the literature that's already there. It's the published articles that you would want to use and then reference them. So task 2, any questions on task 1?
It's fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
once you start doing it, please let us know if you have any problems or issues during while doing it. We can always chat and clear your concerns. Yeah. And then task 2 would be to carry out a literature review that's related to your own chosen area of research. So you'll do a literature review within your own research. Let's say you want to talk about disability, you want to talk about um, dementia, as a student earlier mentioned, happening in younger ages. Why is it happening? So you want to do a review of literature that's been published already. And you would want to produce again a Word document report that summarizes and comments on the literature review, that whatever literature you have reviewed, you will give a summary of that. And then you would want to draw out main themes and issues that have been identified based on your literature review. Okay, so in order to have a distinction on this, you would want to examine the value of literature review process in influencing positive change in health and social care practice. So how does the literature that you've assessed, how does it lead towards positive change in health and social care practice? So your task, I hope that's clear.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah. So task 3 would be to carry out research for your own chosen area, and you would be collecting suitable data and recording your findings. So you would want to create a sample of data from the findings and then apply suitable data analysis methods for, so you could have means, yeah, an average of whatever, like what results you have. You can have percentages based on that. So let's say out of 100%, let's say you have 10 participants in your sample. You could go for qualitative or quantitative assessments. It's up to you. So you would want to say that out of the 100%, 10% said a certain statement, or 5% said this, or 10 another 15% said this. So it's up to you. Or you could also go for means, which is mostly done for continuous data. So for instance, if you want to see the ages of the participants who were there in your study, you would want to see the average age of all the participants. And then you would, in order to gain a merit, you would want to analyze the importance of validity and reliability of data within your research. We'll talk a bit about what validity and reliability are in a bit. And then your task 4 is a basic PowerPoint slides. You have PowerPoint slides that you have to produce, where you would also want notes for presentation on the findings of your literature review and research. That would present the data and information from the findings to produce results and draw conclusions and recommendations. So in this task, this is a task on your PowerPoint presentation, not a Word document. You would want to show that how does your data and whatever information you've gathered, how do these show what you want to show as your results. So what results do you get, or what findings do you get from your data and from all the information that you've gathered? And then you would want to show conclusions and recommendations. So what would your top 3 recommendations be? We don't want extensive PowerPoint slides on this. Just 5 or 10 slides would be enough for this. So just to go about by how much would you want to work on this? So your introduction, for instance, on when you're doing your literature search, it should be, so when you're doing your proposal, actually, it's your literature research also. So you're looking for literature and you're writing it down in your introduction. You're talking about your own project that you would want to do, your own topic. So around 30 to 50 words would be enough. Your aims and objectives should be around 1 to 2 objectives. We've talked in detail about what is the difference between aims and objectives, how the objective should be mentioned. Everything has been discussed in detail. Rationale for your research. Why are you doing it? Why are you not doing anything else? So there might be a gap in research based on your literature review, or it might be that it's a very pressing issue that has not been properly highlighted in a certain population, let's say. And then comes your literature review, which will be your detailed discussion. You would show your sources of information, where you're taking them from. This would come in your references. So you would want to use all of these, or some of these at least, within your research. Your research methods should be there. What methodology did you use? Secondary methods. Did you use any data from any government website? What did you use in your methodology? Present the conclusion of the mini research project. Your ethical considerations must be mentioned in that, and your references. So that's about task 4. So they're basically 4 tasks. So again, as a review, as a quick recap, task 1 is this, where you have a research project proposal. You have to go through all of these points. These bullet points would be assessed basically. So you can put whatever extra you want to, but we will basically be seeing these. So you would want in your research project to highlight these. So this might be the heading, and then you might want all of these 6 headings within your document, and then write whatever you want to within those headings. Task 2 would be carrying out your literature review, summarizing and commenting on the literature review, drawing out main conclusions. Task 3 would be a research project that will be carried out based on that literature review. You would want data collection methods. How would you collect your methods? So all of this would be coming in within your methods. And then task 4 will be your PowerPoint presentation. So that's about it. Any questions on this? I'll stop sharing. I'll share another PowerPoint presentation with you. If you have any questions, please let me know. I know it sounds a bit you feel it might be very extensive, but once you start working on it, it's actually not that hard, because like students before you have also done these assignments, and so if I and they've done them, if you do not leave everything for the last minute, you're okay then. I'll just share this research proposal template with you. I don't know if you have it on your Moodle site or not. I'm just sharing it with you. So for task 3, for instance, when you want to write your research proposal, what would you want to write? You would want to write your name here, uh, your title or your topic of research. What is your role within the organization? You would want to mention that. State your aims and objectives of your research. So what is your aim and what is your objective? So the objective should be short term and your aims would be more longer term. Objectives can be 2. It could be 1, but it's better to have 2 objectives. The purpose of your research. So this would be your background or your analysis, your introduction. This will be 30 to 50 words, which we've mentioned. What is the specific focus of your research? The key points or issue of interest, broader significance of this point or issue of interest, outline what point your project will aim to establish, and briefly explain how this will impact upon your practice. So this is showing how it reflects within your practice. How will this topic or this project impact on your organization? And then you would want to do a literature review of 30 to 50 words based on your own research topic. Your research methods should be around 30 to 50 words. And then this is all the list of the references that you would want to mention. And then your results and conclusions. Now, what are the ethical considerations that you would want to consider? This has already been shared. So your research participants should not be subject to harm in any way whatsoever. Respect for the dignity of research participants would be prioritized. You would want to take full consent from the participants before the study starts. The protection of the privacy of the research participants has to be ensured. You would want adequate level of confidentiality of the research data. So that is why you want to store the research somewhere where people don't have access to it. Not everyone can access it because it is obviously confidential material. Even if it has a patient's or a candidate or your participant's name, that is also confidential. So you would want to keep your participants anonymous. That means you would not want to disclose their names. So you could have IDs, so patient number 001, 002, you could have that. Any deception or exaggeration about your aims and objectives must be avoided. So state very clear aims and objectives which are achievable. Affiliations in any form of funding, as well as any possible conflicts of interests. So if you received any funding for the project, or if you have any conflict of interest, that has to be mentioned. Any type of communication in relation to the research should be done with honesty and transparency. Any type of misleading information, as well as representation of primary data findings in a biased way, must be avoided. So it should be bias free. That's about the ethical considerations. I'll quickly go through a bit about what ethics is and how would you want to incorporate ethics within your research project. For now, do you have any questions for me? No, I take that as a no. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So, quickly going through your research project. We'll not go through all of these slides. We'll just go through them very quickly, just the important ones. So we talk about what is basically what you have to do
I
while
have a
you're
question, please.
yes,
Uh,
yes,
th- the assignment is on Moodle.
yes. So the assignment details, everything is on Moodle.
Ah, that's fine. We try.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
So now when we're talking about your research project, so how do you say that the integrity you're maintaining the integrity of research and the quality of research within your project? So that is when you for instance, if you're looking at socioeconomic disparities in healthcare access in the UK, you're maintaining high standards of integrity and quality that is essential to ensure that your findings are reliable, valid, and ethically sound. We'll mostly talk about what is ethics. So the informed consent, we've mentioned this earlier. So every participant that is there in your study has to be informed about everything within the research. So they should be fully informed about the nature of the research. How long is it going to take for a questionnaire to be filled in? Are they going to gain any more anything out of that research or not? You would include its purpose, why are you doing it, your procedures, your risks and benefits, and that they voluntarily agree to participate. So it's their voluntary decision to participate, not that they don't want to participate and they have to participate. That shouldn't be the case. Confidentiality and anonymity must be protected at all times. Avoid any harm. So if there's any physical, any psychological, even an emotional harm that a person that you're taking data from gets emotionally disturbed, that is not allowed in your research. You need to be honest and transparent. So accurate reporting is very important. Provide truthful and accurate account of the research findings, methods, and procedures. You would want to acknowledge your limitation. So your biggest limitation here, what is your biggest limitation right now when you're doing this research project? Time. You don't have enough time to complete your research and write it up also. So that would be your biggest limitation. Just write it down. And any potential biases. Bias is something that you would want to minimize as much as possible, but sometimes you can't do that. So that would be there. Responsible conduct should be there. So you would want to avoid copying and pasting. So that should not be the case. Don't copy it from your peers. Make sure that your research is original. If you're copying from a website, always mention the site from where you're taking it. Data integrity, ensure that the data is collected, stored, and analyzed accurately and securely without fabrication. You're not going to manipulate it. You're not going to fabricate it just to show the numbers. No. We're not talking about in validity and reliability because these are not required at this moment. We've talked about ethical approvals. We've talked about, so your study could be submitted for ethical review and approval by a relevant institutional ethics committee. Just find out from your setup, your research, you might have a research setup where you're working or your organization, whether they have this committee and then that you would want to fill in the forms. If that takes too much time, just let us know so that we are aware and then you don't have to go through um, so you're actually because whatever data you're collecting that needs to be approved by someone who's um, within that ethics department. So just find out what is the process. You need to be accurately reporting and acknowledging your limitations. Avoid plagiarism and data integrity. We've talked about this. So, yeah, this is basically more or less the same things. I don't want to go. This is exactly the same thing that I was talking about. Uh, yeah. Any questions? So you would want Harvard referencing within your document. So that has been mentioned. And you have your links to your journals and ebooks within Moodle. Um, Your submissions would be at learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. This is where you would want to submit also, or ask any questions. Your assignment submission is after 2 weeks of the completion of the units and its delivery. Any questions?
Okay, so after you have done with the assignment and you want the teacher to just have a glance before you submit, is that allowed?
I can't hear you, Matilda. I'm sorry. Can you talk a bit clearer? Sorry.
Please, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is,
Mm-hmm.
if I finish my assignment and I want the tutor to have a view of it before I submit it to the learner.com, is it allowed?
Yes, that is allowed. Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Welcome. Any other question? All the presentations, the links to the presentations, you will get them on Monday. I have informed them, and yeah, that's it. Monday will be the time when you'll get it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. You have all of the indicative contents, whatever you require to complete your assignment, that's all there on Moodle already. Okay. So if there's no more questions, I'm happy to release you and have a nice
Hello?
week. And if you have any questions, yeah, we are open to take on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to find out the assignments. Will we be giving the topics or we are taking our own
No,
topic?
you will be working on those topics. That is why I wanted topics, a discussion on the topics actually. I've been asking about those topics that you would want to work on. So if you have a research proposal, just a rough draft that you would want to share with us on learner work, based on your topic, what you would want to do actually, that would be great. If you don't have a topic right now, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I've been mentioning dementia because the student, I don't remember the name of the student. She had mentioned that she would want to work on why is dementia happening in earlier years. So that was a very good topic that she would want to do. And then she could take the data where she's working. Her setup is there. And yeah, that's a very good topic. So anything that you would want to work on, if you could just email it even today, we could have a look at it and then let you know if it's a good topic, if it's doable or not.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, do make sure that you submit your assignment, your tasks, your 4 tasks that have been mentioned in due time, because if you're struggling, let us know, please, so that we make sure that we have other arrangements for you.
So please, how do we let you know, on the WhatsApp page, or where should we email you to alert you when we have?
It's learner